What's up, y'all? Good morning. Welcome to Sunday edition of Morning Scone. We're presented by Boudreaux's, the Bloody Mary Mix, and the Margarita Mix. If you were at Taste of Tiger tailgating yesterday, and judging by the crowd, you were all at Taste of Tiger tailgating yesterday. You saw the Boudreaux's booth, which was awesome to see. Man, golly, taste was so good yesterday. I'm going to go ahead and hit the share button. Hopefully y'all will do the same. Bruce, good morning. Kevin, Adam Tower, good to see you and Meg last night, dude. Jeremy Aldridge, good morning. Eric, good morning. As always, we'll wait a few minutes, let this audience build. Say some good mornings here to people as they jump aboard. We'll get cranked up here in a sec. We'll update the Drake Davis situation. Got some thoughts on that. I know Orgeron talked about it yesterday. An LSU scrimmaged, second scrimmage, final scrimmage of fall camp, but second scrimmage before the season opener. Daniel, good morning. Cole, good morning. Trivia, good morning. Good to see you. I was not, media could not go to the scrimmage, but I did have conversations with several people that were there. So whatever questions y'all have about the scrimmage, fire away. Be glad to answer whatever I know, whatever I can. Hey, Dan, good morning. Good to see you, man. Hopefully we see you this football season in BR. Kyle, good morning. Cole, yo. Drew's coming in here. Here he comes. I think it's better whenever I'm already on and he runs in here. Uh-oh. Here comes the tripod destroyer.
Apple.
Mm-hmm.
Apple.
Peekaboo. Robert Stack, good morning. All right, go ahead and get cranked up. I think a lot of y'all are slow to get moving. First, so Taste of Tiger tailgating yesterday was awesome. Had it at Lamar Dixon for the first time. It had been at the River Center for a bunch of years. Man, it was like, I think all of Ascension Parish came out to the event. They told us at the early count, it was the second most people ever. The only one that had more. Cow. Car. The only one that had more was when there was a year where Britney Spears' sister, Jamie Lynn Spears, came and performed, and that's the only one that had more than yesterday. So much fun. Great to see so many listeners out there. You know, people who are fans of our station, which is awesome. So thanks to everybody who came. Thanks to Relief Windows for sponsoring it. Boudreaux's had a booth. Oh, Drew, you got a hat. Okay. Hat. Drew came and brought me a hat, just like the one I'm wearing. Thank you, bud. Are you going to wear the hat? Hat. Thank you. Okay. Look, but Daddy has one on already. Daddy, wear the hat. Is Drew wear the hat? Okay. Let's see. All right, we'll get some of y'all's questions right at the shoot. You know what? Let me real quick go over some stuff from the scrimmage. If you missed it, Ed. Uh-oh is right, buddy. Uh-oh is right. Oh, gosh. That one didn't take long. The first timber moment of our morning scone today. Let me see if that's going to be... No, Drew. Hey, you can't. Stop it. You can't grab that, baby. You can't grab that, okay? Look, Daddy's trying to do his show. Sorry, y'all. Hey, look, Daddy's trying to do his show. You can't do that, okay? You can't grab that. I know that's so funny, right? I know, right? Okay. Daddy has to set that up so we can talk to these people, okay? Okay. Don't grab it again, all right? Don't you do it. Oh my God. You know how many people have said like the reason they watch is for Drew and the chaos he creates? It's not even for the content. It's just they want to watch Drew grab the camera and create chaos in my life. All right. So real quick, stats from the scrimmage. And first of all, I'll give Ed Orgeron kudos for this. Like his quarterbacks, Miles Brennan was 5 of 19 for 47 yards and a pick. Burrow was 10 of 24 for 120 yards, a touchdown, and a pick. The touchdown was a deep ball to Terrace Marshall, like a 45-yarder. Considering all the questions that people have had about quarterback and all that sort of stuff, man, it would have been real easy just to say, hey, they had some good, not give stats, but he disclosed stats, which are bad. Now, the flip side of that is Ed did say there were a lot of drop balls, and so I had a conversation with a couple of people that saw the scrimmage, and they counted 9 drops among LSU receivers. Okay, so they said like it really wasn't that, like the quarterbacks, there were some bad throws, obviously. I mean, 5 of 19 for Brendan, 10 of 24 for Burrow. Like, that's not sharp, but 9 drop passes makes things look a little more palatable. Might have been some good plays, but here's the problem: what has this coaching staff said is the strength of the offense? You want to set me off again? Y'all know. When the coaches are saying receiver is your deepest, strongest position, and you go out there in a scrimmage, not a game, not live defense, TV, lights on, full stadium, a scrimmage, and you're dropping that many balls. I mean, Andrew just locked us in. Come on. I mean, don't tell me that's the strength of your team when clearly it don't look like a strength of your team right now. People keep talking about Jonathan Giles. Giles goes out in the scrimmage, has 1 catch. I mean, the worst thing they could have done for that kid was give him the 7 jersey and put all the expectation and all that sort of stuff, because he's just not, like, this offense, LSU's never going to be built like Texas Tech. So to think he's going to have that kind of production, just not. And the other part of it too is, like, you saw it in the spring game. He's had his opportunities. I'm not saying the kid won't have a good year, but like the expectation that's been put there for him, wow, just significant. Anyway, if there was one really good thing, everyone who watched said that Kelvin Joseph was awesome yesterday. And we talked about it a bit yesterday, that Kelvin and Manny Netherly were the 2 that kind of had a shot to steal a starting job opposite Greedy, because they need a big body corner, right? The other 2 guys that were running there were Terrence Alexander and Kerry Vincent, are both 5'10"-ish. So that's a mismatch among some big body wide receivers. If Kelvin Joseph or Manny Netherly could emerge, then they'd have a really good shot at winning that job. And supposedly Kelvin Joseph made some really nice plays yesterday and sort of ran up that board. So that's probably the really, really positive thing. They kind of called off the dogs with the blitzers so that they could run through some offense. So they didn't really have a bunch of sack numbers, because Orgeron was like, don't send pressure. So maybe the offensive line today was a little better than it otherwise would have been. I heard Devin White was just a dog. He just decided he was going to go off in the scrimmage and did. They did not give Devin White stats, but supposedly he was everywhere. So some good. The bad obviously is the offense. So Daniel says, is the defense that good or is the offense that bad? So that's that's the tricky part, right? Like we always say, that's the tricky part with a scrimmage. It's like you, because you don't know that, right? Like you'd love to think, hey, defense is great, right? Is the offense struggling because the defense is great, or is it is the defense's success inflated because the offense is struggling? So we'll all find that out on September the 2nd. So, hey, Gordon Lyndon Rush the third is watching. Oh, and he says I complete him. That's nice, Gordy. Thank you so much. Can I have a raise, please? Thank you. You all should message Gordy right now and make him give me a raise. All right, let's see. Let's get to some of your... the other thing I want to talk about that we got to talk about here is Drake Davis. So yesterday, while we were doing morning scone, the Drake Davis thing broke. So, or I shouldn't say it broke, but we were all made aware of it while we were doing the show. So yesterday, apparently, Drake Davis's attorney submitted a letter to the district attorney, to police, and to LSU recanting her story. There's two parts of this that are interesting to me. And by the way, that letter was not made public, but there's two parts that are interesting. So in the Advocate article, Hiller Moore, the district attorney, is quoted as saying, my understanding is that her statement to others has changed. I don't know the sum and substance of it totally. We will meet with her and continue to meet with her, and look, it's not unusual for people who have been abused to change their story, and it's something we always have to be mindful of and take into account. This investigation really is ongoing. So the fact that the accuser recanting her story hasn't completely shut down the investigation is one thing. The other for me is that, like, the thing that is just the censure is the text message. So the original report, the police report, said that Drake Davis had sent the victim a text message that said, "I might kill you." All right, if that text message exists, regardless of whether or not the alleged victim pursues charges, if he sent her a text message that says, "I might kill you," then she can recant or retract whatever statement she wants. Like, as it pertains to the football program, you cannot be a part of the LSU football program. And the most disappointing thing yesterday was Ed Orgeron standing at the podium and refusing to comment about the situation. Like, I'm not saying he had to convict Drake Davis publicly in that moment, because you can let a legal process play out. But Ed Orgeron yesterday went the route of Marshawn Lynch at the Super Bowl when he said, "I'm just here so I don't get fined," and that's all he said the entirety of media day. That's all Ed Orgeron would say is, "Drake Davis is a legal matter. I'm not going to have any comment." Any follow-up, Drake Davis is like, he had obviously been fed that line, and that's just all he was going to say. But you come off looking dismissive about domestic violence. Like, I'm not saying you have to comment about Drake Davis and the particulars of the case, but it would have been very easy to say, we take these matters very seriously. There's an ongoing investigation, so I can't comment publicly about the specifics of this case, but LSU will never condone domestic violence among its players, and we think the things that are alleged are repulsive. That said, we're going to support Drake however we can. I mean, there's a way to do it where you can denounce domestic violence and not act like you're just covering for your guy until you can get him cleared, which is what that felt like yesterday. Scott Rappley wrote a column in The Advocate which said essentially the same thing, so I'm glad I wasn't on an island in that. And I'm going to tell you what, man, especially, like, remember, if I'm reading The Advocate's initial report correctly, it wasn't the accuser who came to police. An LSU administrator, an official as it was termed, found out about it and reported it to LSU police. Look at what's happening right now with Ohio State. Like, Urban Meyer and the athletic director, Gene Smith, might lose their job because they knew about domestic violence and kept Zach Smith around for years. Like, if LSU, like, it's like, you want to, like, tip your cap to someone, tip your cap to LSU, the administrator, the official, whoever it was that found out about this and reported it. Because that's exactly the kind of story that it's like, if that trail is there where it comes out years later, you're in the Urban Meyer, Zach Smith situation. So, man, I hated to see that yesterday, man. I'm not saying that Ed needed to convict his player publicly in the media, but to not take any type of stance against social media, to me, was just unacceptable. Like, that was just unacceptable yesterday. All right. Okay, that's my piece. We'll get to your comments. Hey, Darren said, good morning from Boston. Man, I don't know why this isn't letting me scroll anymore. Like, something's locked on these comments. Hey, what's up, bud? Hey. What you doing? Hey. Like, I'm gonna have to scroll up. Like, it's not letting me go back in the comments and then scroll down. I'm just gonna have to start at the bottom and then scroll up. So I can't like go sequential. I'll be going like in reverse sequential order. Hey. Hi. What? What? Hey, tell me what you want. Use your words. What? Lily? What do you want? Lily? Nanny or daddy? You say daddy? Oh, sweetheart. Daddy. You want a daddy. Okay. I'll hold you. We'll talk to these people. Go to give Erica a raise. Kirk, she'll take it. Thank you. Hey, listen, we're not gonna fuss. We're not gonna be fussy face. Hey, tell me what you want. Use your words. Ernie, you want Ernie? No. What? Wheel? Nanny. Nanny? No. Wheel? You want Wheel? Okay, you want Wheel. Okay, well, we'll go put on Wheel. Come on. Let's go put on Wheel. Come on. All right, y'all. I'm gonna take y'all with me. We're gonna go put on Wheel. Told y'all. It's that time of morning. Some kids like cartoons. My kid likes Wheel of Fortune. Hey, Gordo. Maybe Drew and Jerry can watch some Wheel together. Let's see. Morning from Greenville, South Carolina. What's up, Justin Turner? All right, let's see. Gordy, when soccer became relevant, Tony became a rising star. Oh my God, Tony. Tony, who has, by the way, who has completely rejected the Tony from Dutchtown moniker, refuses to embrace it, like on the show, like 100% refuses to embrace it. So much so that Hester does Tony from Colchester, right? And last night we're in Livingston Parish, all like for Taste of Tiger tailgating, and you know we're doing our Win Gordy's tickets giveaway, and so they introduce everybody on our staff on stage. Tony from Dutchtown, and he's up there fist pumping and going batshit. I'm like, oh sure, now you embrace it, whatever. Tony. Wheel, here it is, bud. You want some Wheel? Oh. Okay. Okay, Wheel of Fortune. Oh, he's fired up. And this is one with Robert. Robert's kind of a nerdy guy that won like $1 million in Wheel. Wheel's coming. Look at him. Like sitting right there. It's crazy. Kid loves Wheel of Fortune. Anybody else's kid love Wheel of Fortune? Oh. All right, set this back up, y'all. We get rolling. Screen looks dark. All right. All right. Boom. All right, here we go. All right, I'm going to give you a fair warning, okay? He's going to cry in a minute whenever they do a toss-up, and then they go through the introductions of the people participating, and he always cries whenever they do the introduction of the people participating. He does not like to hear them tell their stories about their cat, how they go hiking on the trails on Saturdays. He does not like that, and he doesn't like whenever there's buzzers, when they get something wrong. So, FYI. All right, let's see. Craig, good morning. Jamie, this is so cool. You and Drew have an AM show like any other. I guess it's something. Derek, good morning. Daniel, good morning. Jody, Brian, let's see. Had a great time at Taste Session. Thanks for coming out, Brian. It was awesome, man. It was a really good day. Drew is greater than the blue dog. Oh, y'all saw that blue dog in there? Yeah. Pudding for Drew, Jesus. So apparently Terrio's little bit on Friday. For those that missed it, by the way, I'll get back. I'm coming back to y'all's questions down here in a sec. For those that missed it, on Friday, Terrio's back doing another Jerry Sullivan bit. But if you go to our website now, 1045espn.com, all of our shows, like we launched a new platform for our video, and all of our shows now the video is archived. It's like Netflix. The whole template is phenomenal. So you can literally go back and now every show is archived. Not only can you podcast it, but you can go to like watch. So go to 1045ESPN.com, hit watch. Like I'm serious, do this after we're done. Go to watch or some point today, and you'll see every one of our shows, and you can scroll back and see any. You can watch any show since we launched the new platform and will forever. So you can go back to Friday's show, click on it, scroll to hour 3, and you could, like Terrio did his Jerry Sullivan bit at the top of hour 3. It was not my, by the way, not my idea. He did it on his own, Gordy. So when you get yelled at about me, you go yell at Terrio, suspend him again. All right, Scott, do you see the Saints searching the market for another quarterback? I don't see how they don't. Now, I don't think they're going to trade for anybody. I don't think they're going to give up an asset for Drew Brees' backup. But remember a few years ago, I mean, look at how they got Taysom Hill. They got Callahan from Green Bay a few years ago the same way. Now, they didn't win the backup job, but it was guys they kind of invested in. Do you keep an eye on that? Sure. Like I'm not saying go trade for Geno Smith, but the Jets aren't going to keep 3. So if no one else trades for him, they cut Geno Smith or whoever. Or if Glennon gets cut in Arizona, well, go sign him or try to. I mean, you have competition for him, obviously, whereas opposed with the trade, you give up an asset and you get the rights to the player. But I mean, you understand how trades work. But you absolutely have to keep your eyes open and your options open. Adam Edo is not, never will be CEO that LSU football needs him to be. It doesn't look like it. Craig, more tea time with Tony. Craig, I'm going to ban you from this thing, man. Gordy said, thanks for all the feedback. Tony from Dutchtown's contract is up for renewal. He might command a huge raise. Not sure there will be the funds remaining. Tony's a rising star. Jesus Christ. Wes says, Saints have 0 backup quarterback. Hill was awful. Barrett needs to stick around. He made chicken salad out of chicken bleep during that game. Yeah, but you also got to remember when JT Barrett's in, it's guys that aren't going to make the team against other guys that aren't going to make the team. And what you need in a backup is someone that, in the event that Drew Brees twists an ankle and has to sit for a week, can go be competent. And that guy right now is probably Tom Savage. Look, I can't believe Tom Savage is in the NFL, but he's, of the 3, the one that's most competent. Cole talking about Drake said if he sent the text message, kick rocks Drake, I don't want someone like that on the team. It just like there should be 0 tolerance. Like that can't. Yeah. Yay! Is Robert tearing it up on Wheel of Fortune from 5 years ago? Yep. Yeah. That's good to know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ryan says you can take back a statement of physical damage on record. Hard to retract that. Very true. Here's where we're getting to all the ones that were saying give Matt a raise. Okay, all those are gone now. This is so weird, man. Like there's a setting here where there we go. Now it's letting me scroll back. Okay. Sorry, like there's just a new function on the message part here on Facebook that I'm watching, and I'm having trouble scrolling through, and some of your comments are just scrolling off. So I apologize for that. Daniel wants me to bring back the stash. I don't think that's going to happen, Daniel. And the stash on Morning Scone was completely. You know what? Maybe I'll do because I'm probably going to shave today. Maybe I'll wait and shave tomorrow morning, and I'll leave the stash for Morning Scone and then shave the stash before I go to my meeting. So, not a bad idea. All right. No one likes when they introduce the contestants. Talking about Wheel of See, I'm going out of order with the comments. So I went back to the Drake Davis comments. Now I'm at the Wheel of Fortune comments. So, me and Drew have a lot in common. I have 0 interest in people's lives. Yo, it's so stupid. All right, Jesse. Matt, is Joe the same as Danny was? What's the difference between the both of them the last 2 years? We had a transfer hope, not the same player. So that's a really good comment, Jesse. And it's hard for me to. I'll give you an answer. I'm not going to cop out, but I have to piece together an answer based on what I know and understand. I have not seen Joe Burrow play football, so he had some garbage snaps against Ohio State. While he was at Ohio State, and he hasn't played a game yet for LSU. So I can go watch, all the media gets to see is the practice video where they're throwing against air. So all I can go by is that and things that I've heard from people who have gone to the scrimmages that have seen him play, or people on staff that'll tell me what they think. And it's a little mixed. It's like, I don't think you have like a guy that's going to be a 3,000 yard passer this year, but I think in over 2 years you could see Burrow have the sort of ascent that Mettenberger did. Remember, the first 8 weeks of the season for Mettenberger in 2012 were a grind. Like, it didn't go well. And then the Alabama game, it clicked for him. And then then in November of 12, he just started that ascent. And then 13 was dominant with Jarvis and Odell. Sorry, I heard Drew coughing. So anyway, I think that could be similar for Burrow. And Rohan talked about it this week on my show. He's like, he's going to be at his best, meaning Burrow, in 2019, like next year, which doesn't bode well for the early part of this season. As far as the Etling comparisons, Burrow's a little bit bigger. I know people have talked about the arm strength, but like the conversation I've had is that, like, even though he could throw, like, everyone saw that deep ball that he threw at practice, and like, oh my God, huge. But it's more like, Matt Flynn talked about this on Hester's show last week. It's more like, when you're talking about arm strength, like, it's not how far can you throw it. It's how quick is your release. Like, can you throw a 15-yard out or 12-yard dig and throw it on a dime, throw it over a corner under a safety? Like, can you make those throws? So that's more what I want to see from Burrow, and that might be some of the question. But the positives are, like, good pocket presence, good footwork. I love the fact that he's the son of a coach and a football junkie, because, like, if you have someone that's smart with the football and makes good decisions, he won't put you in bad spots. So, by the way, like the interception. So Burrow had a touchdown and a pick. The interception was Chasson got the pick. Like, I know a bunch of people talked about Chasson, but apparently he kind of like slid underneath. Burrow never saw him. He just baited him right into it. And outside linebacker Chasson picked off Burrow. I mean, I think Caleb on Chasson. I mean, everything that everybody has said, the more I hear, just validates it that he's just going to have a monster year. So hopefully he stays healthy and just becomes just a total freak show stud. Good question, though, Jesse. I appreciate it. Matt says, what about the Ravens backups? Saints would love to have either of those guys. Well, they're not going to get Lamar Jackson, obviously, but I think RG3 is an interesting option if he doesn't make Baltimore. I mean, you're obviously going to keep Flacco and you're going to keep Jackson. The question is, do they keep three? Are they ready for Lamar Jackson to be their backup? And I don't know. Jeremy, how's the field goal kicking looking in camp? Haven't heard a lot on special teams. Cole Tracy was 1 for 2 yesterday. They did not disclose distances, and the media doesn't get to watch the kickers either. But I'll continue. Tracy was perfect in the first scrimmage. He was 3 for 3. The thing that I'll say here, that I've said all along, I don't care what you do. It's like golf. You can go to the driving range and hit 100 balls just beautifully. What happens when you're standing over a 12-foot putt to win the Masters with, 1 million people watching on TV and 100,000 in the gallery? You cannot recreate that atmosphere, that environment, that pressure. And I just got to see him do it in the game. So, like, does the kid have good mechanics, good leg? Oh, yes, absolutely. Good sense of humor too. He'd follow me on Twitter, and like all the kickers, like all the specialists follow me on Twitter. We go back and forth because Reed and Blake Ferguson, like Blake's come on a bunch now, or Reed's come on a bunch now. Blake has too, I guess now. But it's funny because Reed's a Yankee fan and Blake's a Red Sox fan, so we all go back and forth. So anyway, yeah. So long story short is that, like, I like all the specialists. I think they're fun. And Tracy seems to have like a good sense of humor, laid back, and I think that's going to serve him well in pressure situations. But just let me see you do it in the game. That's all. Oh God, Craig, Jerry Sullivan is sitting back waiting on his check from his reversible mortgage. I am not going down that road again. Hey, Lori Klug is watching. Good morning, Lori Klug. All right, see, Dustin Hill had a terrible game. Learning to be a pocket passer, it's a huge transformation. Talking about Taysom Hill, it's terrible. Mike said, any feedback on Sullivan's transition to tight end? He's not playing tight end anymore. That lasted about 2 days. Went back to receiver. I like the idea. Apparently Sullivan didn't like the idea. Yeah. Stephon Sullivan, for those, not Jerry Stephon, for those that are wondering. They tried Stephon Sullivan at tight end, which I conceptually really like that idea. They'd gotten so thin at tight end, remember, because Thad Moss has been injured. They lost Pettigrew for the year, or presumably for the year with the knee injury. Ja'Cory Washington had missed some time. They still have Aaron Moffitt. But I talked to Tommy this week, too. So he said Aaron's still playing tight end, and he's working on catching the ball. It's just something he's never done before. But Aaron's is 6'3", big, strong, physical kid. So I mean, he's certainly a guy that could be an inline blocker at that position if they go too tight. But so they moved Sullivan there. Conceptually, I like it. Put a guy at 6'6" who's going to be covered by a linebacker, create a mismatch. I love that idea. But apparently Sullivan didn't want his hand on the ground. So Jason Rogers, John Ravenhorst, what's up, John? Yeah. Okay. Add that. Oh, you want Calici? Calici! Come here. I gotta do your bag. Come here. Your food's beeping. Hold on. You wanna say hi to everybody? You gonna say hi to everybody? You gonna be sweet? Let's see, we have any more in here? Are you all the way done? Oh, you're kinked. That's the problem. Hold on. It's okay. Almost done. Wait. True. Oh my god. When your kid is hooked up to a feeding tube and is like running away from you. That's exactly what I need. Oh my god. That's right, I need to pull a button out of his stomach. That's exactly what we need this morning. Okay. Kevin, good morning. Brandon Pruitt, good morning. All right, let's see. God, I'm getting a lot of comments now. Let's see. All right, so Edling never did or tried more than he knew he could do. He was safe. That can work against you at times. That's true, I guess. Edling pushed the ball downfield a lot. He just wasn't very good at it. He got credit for being like a good deep ball thrower, but he got bailed out a bunch, man. But Shark, who was really, people underestimate Shark was so good for LSU last year. Kevin Harold, next year, do you realize how tiring it is here next year? If O don't win more than 7 games this year, I know you disagree, but he's gone. Kevin, I'm not saying that I disagree, but as long as Joe Oliva is the athletic director, he's not going to fire Ed Orgeron. So if they win 7, he's going to give him another year. It's like if they lose to Miami, lose to Auburn, and out the chute they're struggling, and if at the next Board of Supervisors meeting Joe Oliva gets fired, then yes, I think Ed would very much be gone. But I'm not predicting that to happen. I don't know. I'm not saying whether it should or shouldn't. Let's see how the season plays out. Jamie, I missed your running back comments. Heard Curry look good. Didn't hear much about Clyde. Hopefully both are starting to separate themselves. Clyde had 3 carries. So here's what. I had this conversation with Hester yesterday at Taste. Maybe he and I will have this conversation on the air tomorrow. So look, I've been going to camp, to LSU fall camp long enough to be able to gauge how people talk about a team, and what to read from it. So, like in years past, for example, talk about the running backs. When you look at that running back group and you'd see Jeremy Hill and Terrence McGee and Alfred Blue and Kenny Hilliard and Spencer Ware and Michael Ford, and you got 6 guys that are all future NFL running backs. And it's like you walk over there and it's just like, Jesus, like look at these freak shows, right? Like that's the whole way people talk about it. It's like it's just absurd, the talent. The defensive backs. Like you could go, like in 2016, if you had gone and watched the defensive backs Christian Fulton would have been like your 8th cornerback. Okay, like a 5-star would have been your 8th corner. And you look at that group and you're like, oh my, it's absurd, you know, to look at the talent. The thing about, and specifically with the running backs, your question, and I asked Hester yesterday, I was like, because he's like, Curry looked good today. He's like, Curry looked, you know, he had some nice runs. And I'm like, okay, like, when you say it like that, is it, hey man, you know, Hill, Fournette, Geis, like, Curry's coming, you know? And he's like, no, it's not like that. He made some nice, it sounded like a Kentucky running back. Guy's a good SEC player, you know, but not a dude. They don't have that guy, man. I'm telling you that he's just. I'm not saying Curry won't, over the course of his career, emerge and become a really good player. You want it like a comp? How about Jonathan Williams from Arkansas? You know, like who's with the Saints now because it's top of mind. That's a guy who throughout his college career at Arkansas just kept getting better and better. You know, a physical runner, a little bit of wiggle. Like, he could be that guy. But that guy ain't for that. That guy ain't Geis. That guy's not, hey, hand it to him 22 times and watch him go off for 285 like Geis could. You know? Anyway. Just my tea leaves. Reading the tea leaves. All right, Akeem. Hearing Kelvin Joseph starting to emerge. Yeah, man. Orgeron talked about it yesterday, and everybody I talked to yesterday said he had a really nice day, and I like the possibility of having a really, like, and I'm sure they do too, of having a long corner. It's just kid who's playing safety. He's a freshman. Like, as a freshman, can you handle starting on an island against SEC receivers when everybody's going to pick on you because Greedy's on the other side? So, don't know. We'll see. Let's see. Shane Smith, good morning. Scott LeBlanc, Doug Borg, good morning. Marcus Lee, why are people sleeping on LSU and Ed Orgeron? Talent across the board. Depth, arguably one of the coaching staffs in the nation. If Burrow is good as the sky's the limit. But Marcus, the problem is they don't have talent and depth across the board. Like, you can psych yourself up, but like we're just talking about at running back. Like, they don't have talent at running back. They have no receivers that have produced. They've got musical chairs on the interior of the offensive line. They don't have a quarterback that's taken a meaningful snap. The defensive front seven's really good, but we're talking about, like, you're probably going to be starting a freshman at corner who was a safety who's now moving to corner. Like, you got legit questions, and that's going up against what ESPN.com's power rankings has as the 3rd toughest strength of schedule in the country. I mean, that's why. It's not people are sleeping. It's a realistic view. Like, when you go through projections, it's always what variables are there, how tough is the schedule. Like, look at Alabama's schedule. Alabama, the reason everybody's picking them is because even though they lost so much from last year, Alabama has all the talent that Alabama always has, and they won't play a ranked team until November. That's if LSU's ranked when they play. I mean, sorry. I think Bama's rotating cross-divisional this year is Missouri. So, you know, LSU gets Georgia. I mean, LSU gets Florida, Georgia. You know, Bama's going to get Tennessee and Missouri. Like, that's why everybody's picking them. You know? So, anyway. Andrew Bayer, good morning. John Sanders, good morning. Kevin said defense will be a lot like the 2011 defense. Come on, bro. Stop. There ain't no Tyrann Mathieu on this team, yo. Mo Claiborne won the damn Bolitnikoff. Or the Thorpe. Sorry. Mingo and Montgomery were all American ends. Anyway. Chad, if Saban's still coaching Bama in 2023, does he come to the 03 reunion? Nope. I mean, if he's coaching, there's no way. Bob Athaney, what's your opinion on the O-line this year? Okay, I think Sadiq Charles at left tackle is going to become a stud. And I think he's going to have to take on one-on-one rushers all year. Because I think they're going to have to give help on the right side. And they're thin at tight end. I I think everyone's talked about Damian Lewis. I'll take their word. They need Ed Ingram back. If Ed Ingram's back, I would feel really, really good about this offensive line. I would feel so good about Ingram and Lewis at your guards. Move Brumfield into center, fifth-year guy. Figure out, McGee or Deculus at right tackle, Sadiq Charles at left. I'd feel really good about that. I don't feel good about Lloyd Cushenberry at center. I don't feel good about the domino effect that causes moving Lewis to the right side, keeping Brumfield at left. I just think that's not your best alignment, but it might be the best you have available. If they can get Ingram back, my outlook on the offensive line changes dramatically. But I think Sadiq Charles is going to start to become a stud this year, and next year he'll be like all conference honors, all that stuff. Ryan, after the scrimmage, it appears 7-5 may be optimistic. Do you think LSU has a better shot of being 6-6 or 8-4? Oh God. 6-6. Yeah, 6-6. Only way I'd go is if he's 5-7. Let's see. Is the board going to make a move on Oliva since it's the last year for a lot of them? So they already had their turnover. The old members turned off and the new ones came on in June. So they've already, so that was the big hullabaloo about, hey buddy, about Nicky Caldwell's contract where they didn't rubber stamp it. So like the new members of the board didn't just rubber stamp Nicky Caldwell's contract when they normally always do. So that was kind of a power play, right? To say, hey, we're not just going to rubber stamp everything you send our way. So that's why it was interesting for a lot of people. Oh, my sweet boy. My sweet boy. Oh. Is there anything better than this? Oh, my gosh. Just comes and crawls in your lap and gives you a hug. Huh. Ma. Are we talking to people on the TV show? Hey, when Daddy finishes his TV show, we can go for a ride in the car if you want. You want to go for a ride in the car? Huh? Huh? You see yourself on the screen? Do you want to say hi to everybody? Can you say hi? Bye. No, not bye. Say hi. 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 That was sweet. Thank you. I love you. Are you watching Wheel? Gaha? I don't know what gaha is. Use your words. Oh, car. Car. Yes, we will go for it. God. I just pulled the button out of his stomach. God, dog it. Okay, this is over. I have to go put his feet back in his stomach. Dog it. I was sitting on his extension. Okay, I have to go. I'm going to fill a hole that's in my kid's stomach now. All right, Boudreaux, y'all have a great day. I got to hurry up and do this. Sorry.